Aloha! Hey! What is up? Today, I want to tackle something, and I even approached it in a way that might be a little easier so I don't talk off the beaten path. So I got like mini notes, might spot them here and there, but as always, I'll wing it. It's all about that present moment. So, let's see. I'll start this off with conscious consumption. Corny, right? Anyway, let's get on with this. So, conscious consumption is something that you got to be aware. Awareness is the key because as long as you are aware, you're able to at least perceptually take part, participate, be a part of what you are doing, that potential being fulfilled. You being able to present yourself not in a manner that restricts your truest of being. So there's no pressure, there's just an identity that you actually recognize as free will choice. Now, through that, I guess there's a lot of people who are conscious in what they consume, and with consumption, you also have to consider the different forms. Now, I would like to go over the diet, what you actually put inside your body. Now, this can also go in the form of not only the food, the quality of food, where the food comes from, but it also has to deal with like any chemical substances. For example, if you smoke cigarettes, that stuff that is not good for you that they use with a lot of that harms your body. Now the thing is, if you put in, let's say, a psychedelic plant, that can also affect the body. But the thing is, the quality and the consistency as well of what is actually being put inside the body and what it does to the body is understanding on if it's harmonic. So that also goes to the pharmaceutical industry because, I mean, that's big money. I mean, there's natural remedies. Food is medicine. Just, they don't tell you that. So, we got diet, what you put in your body. Now, next up is the perception. Now, this is actually like what you see, what you decide to actually put your focus toward during actual attention, what you decide to absorb in. Because even if you don't like remember it later on, it's stored in one way or another, whether it's just a subconscious record or you're actually storing any emotion. So like if you're watching something on television, which I mean, the whole media industry either is trying to influence you or at least feed you with some sort of, like they'll pay big bucks over stuff that actually affects the populace, be it for just desensitizing or trying to implant an idea, entrainment, stuff like that. And this can range from like a violence in the movies or how the music industry was basically hijacked to sell you a product. And I mean, I don't watch like TV on cable. I don't watch stuff like that is pushed out. Majority of stuff out there, I'm not interested in. Art, I'm more interested in. How it's executed, if it's well done. Now, even in consideration, there's some things I still just won't watch. I'm not going to watch like a horror movie. I can appreciate a horror movie, but most likely I'm not going to watch it because I know the same actual tactics that they've developed over time are implanted in there, whether to give you fear in the body, to make you exposed to violence, to allow you the whole sexual wave. And I'll tell you, that whole sexual wave of trying to make people either be a certain type, like MTV, I mean, that's one of the bigger people who did that, but I mean, it's out there. But you'd be surprised what that's connected to. Even like pedophilia rings and stuff like that. Because, you know, it's going to be coming out, one of these psychological studies to understand that all these methods were used in some form or another as actual manipulation or influences. So we got diet and perception. And now the third one is going to be environmental. Now, environmental is more about like what's around you. Now, this is on the same level of a visual, but this takes into consideration the actual nature. Like, for example, if you're out in nature, you're not being like bombarded with any electromagnetic activity. But if you're in, let's say, a college and you got these Wi-Fi routers set up every so often sending out mass waves to handle everything. And that every connection there, on top of the cell phone service, even if you don't put it on airplane mode, when you actually carry it on you, is emitting its own frequency back and forth, especially if you're like getting notifications or sending data. I mean, it has to be sent through an electric momentum to reach a point of frequency. Like, it's a resonance radio, so it's sent out, it's received, it can be sent wherever it needs to go, and that gets sent out, and then it's received on the other end, and that's communication. So that is going on. Now, some people are like, oh, I can't see it. What does it mean with all this stuff? It's just technology. It helps out. Yeah, it helps out. But it's like, if you're playing music over there and you're playing something different over there, and on top of that, you have this high-pitched ringing going off behind you. I don't think that's what people want to listen to. And you got to consider in that forms, that's what we're able to perceive wave-wise through our hearing spectrum, is a small sliver of the example that's still going on this whole like electromagnetic spectrum, that being light, what makes matter, everything that just exists in general that we can actually perceive through this being. That is all in consideration. And then some stuff we can't see, and I guess saying all the things you can see was a bad example because it's really excluding a lot of the stuff you can see, like these electromagnetic waves. But anyway, like even like the sun, and if the sun's intensity is like huge and it's sending out these high UVs, your body's gonna absorb that, and that's just another form of intensity. And people don't realize the health aspects of it because the studies are all leaning towards short term and trying to sell the product for safety. And the whole thing is, they don't take the subtle little effects on each and every cell being able to be affected by that. So that's the third one. I'm like, hold on. I need to see what is actually happening here and what we're actually on.